Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me closely, because what I'm about to share is not just information. It's transformation. There comes a point in your life where comfort becomes a cage, where staying the same becomes more dangerous than changing, and where your future starts demanding more from you than your past ever has. And the only way forward is simple. You must force yourself to level up, not wish for it, not hope for it, not pray without action. You must push yourself, stretch yourself, and sometimes drag yourself into the version of you that God designed long before you were even born. Because the truth is, if you don't force yourself to level up, life will force you to stay down. Every breakthrough begins with a breaking point. And maybe today is yours. Maybe you're tired of repeating last year's struggles. Maybe you're tired of living at the level of your excuses. Maybe you're tired of watching other people win while you keep telling yourself, one day, here's the hook, one day is a thief disguised as a promise. And time isn't waiting for you. Destiny isn't waiting for you. Opportunity isn't waiting for you. So why are you waiting? Growth begins where comfort ends, and the moment you fully understand that truth, everything about your life shifts. Comfort feels safe, familiar, predictable, but nothing extraordinary ever grows in the soil of comfort. Comfort is the place where dreams go to sleep, where potential stays hidden, and where purpose slowly suffocates. The hook is simple. You can't grow and stay comfortable at the same time. And every person who has ever risen to greatness had to walk through a season where comfort was no longer an option. Growth requires pressure, stretching, and stepping into spaces where your excuses can't survive. It demands the kind of courage that forces you to leave behind what's easy so you can enter what's extraordinary. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding discomfort, not realizing that discomfort is the strongest sign that transformation is happening. When life stretches you, it's not breaking you, it's expanding your capacity. When life challenges you, it's not punishing you, it's preparing you. Comfort convinces you that you're safe, but safety is not the same as success. Safety keeps you in the same routine, same mindset, same results. Growth demands that you confront the things you've avoided, the fears you've justified, and the habits you've normalized. And the price of growth is always discomfort. The hook you must hold on to is this: if you avoid the discomfort of growth, you will face the discomfort of regret. Comfort tells you to stay where you are, but purpose calls you to rise. When you stretch beyond what you know, you discover what you're truly capable of. The mind expands when challenged. The spirit strengthens when tested. The character deepens when pressured. Every great achievement in your life will come wrapped in inconvenience. And most people miss their breakthrough because they expect growth to feel good. But growth doesn't feel good. It feels necessary. It feels uncomfortable because it's pulling you away from who you were and shaping you into who you must become for your next level. And nothing about your next level is supposed to feel familiar. If it feels too easy, too normal, too predictable, then you're still operating inside your old level. When you decide to step outside your comfort zone, you activate a force within you that has been waiting to rise. Suddenly, the goals that once felt impossible begin to move closer. The skills you thought you lacked begin to develop. The opportunities you thought would never come begin to appear. Why? Because the universe responds to movement. God responds to obedience. And success responds to courage. When you grow beyond your comfort, your environment is forced to shift in your favor. Here's a powerful hook. Your comfort zone is not your home, it's your holding place. And if you stay too long You will outgrow it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, even while your life stays the same. Comfort is seductive, but it comes with a hidden cost. It costs you your ambition. It costs you your excellence. It costs you your future. Every time you choose comfort, you delay your calling. But every time you choose discomfort with intention, you accelerate your growth. The people who win in life aren't the strongest, the smartest, or the luckiest. They're the ones willing to do what uncomfortable people refuse to do. They show up when it's inconvenient. They work when they don't feel like it. They learn what others avoid. They push beyond their limits even when it scares them. Their results become undeniable because their mindset becomes unstoppable. Discipline is the price of elevation, and the truth is most people want the elevation without paying the price. They want the results without embracing the routine, the success without the sacrifice, the growth without the grind. But the universe does not operate on wishes, it operates on principles. And one principle remains unshakably true. You will rise only to the level of the discipline you are willing to maintain. Discipline isn't glamorous, it isn't loud, and it doesn't always feel exciting, but it is the foundation on which every great destiny is built. Dreams may inspire you, but discipline is what transforms you. The hook is simply motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation disappears. Because motivation will fade, it always does. Some days you'll wake up energized, and other days you'll wake up fighting your own thoughts. Discipline isn't about feeling ready, it's about acting responsibly. It's the decision to do what needs to be done long after the excitement has cooled. Most people never step into their greatness because they rely on emotion instead of discipline. Emotion says, do it later. Discipline says, do it now. Emotion says, I'm tired. Discipline says, I'm committed. Emotion negotiates, but discipline decides. Discipline is the invisible force that separates wishful thinkers from world changers. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the right things consistently. Greatness doesn't come from intensity, it comes from repetition. You don't transform your life with one big action. You transform it through thousands of small, intentional decisions made every single day. Those decisions shape your habits, and your habits shape your destiny. The powerful hook you must remember is this: your habits will always reveal your future long before your results do. If your habits are weak, your future must be weak. If your habits are strong, your future has no choice but to rise. Discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. When you discipline yourself, you are training your mind, your spirit, and your character to operate at a higher frequency. You are teaching yourself how to stay focused when distractions scream for your attention. You are teaching your body how to move when it's tired, how to grind when it's frustrated, and how to execute when it wants to quit. Discipline gives you the capacity to keep going when others stop. It strengthens your endurance, sharpens your decision making, and builds the internal resilience required for elevation. Elevation is not random, it is earned. And discipline is the currency. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack structure. Talent makes you impressive, but discipline makes you unstoppable. You can have all the potential in the world, but without discipline, potential becomes wasted energy. Discipline transforms potential into power. It turns dreams into deadlines, ideas into execution, and goals into achievements. When you become disciplined, your environment begins to shift. Opportunities start responding to you. People start respecting you. Your own mind begins to trust you because you finally become the kind of person who does what they say they will do. One of the most powerful hooks you'll ever understand is this: discipline is the highest form of self-love. It is choosing what benefits you over what comforts you. It is choosing progress over pleasure. It is choosing long-term impact over short-term impulse. People think discipline is restrictive, but in reality, it's the most liberating force you can master. When you discipline yourself, you free yourself from inconsistency, from procrastination, from excuses, from self-sabotage. And here's the truth you must internalize: the level of discipline you embrace will determine the level of life you experience. Winners are built in the moments where ordinary people walk away. Champions are created in the hours that nobody sees. Discipline is doing the work in silence so your success can speak in public. Discipline is the difference between potential and performance, between desire and destiny, between dreaming and becoming. The moment you choose discipline, you choose elevation. Your mindset builds your reality, and until you truly understand the power of your thoughts, you will continue living beneath the level of life you were created for. Everything you experience externally begins internally. Your habits, your results, your opportunities, your relationships, your success, all of it is shaped by the thoughts you repeatedly allow to take root. The hook is simple. Your mind is the architect, and your life is the building. If the architecture is weak, the structure will crumble. But if the architecture is strong, your life will rise with unshakable stability. Most people try to change their circumstances without changing the thinking that created those circumstances in the first place. And that's why they stay stuck in patterns they swear they want to escape. Your mind is a factory, constantly producing thoughts that either empower you or imprison you. What you feed it determines what it produces. If you feed your mind fear, it will manufacture hesitation. If you feed it doubt, it will produce limitation. But if you feed it possibility, your mind will begin creating pathways you never knew existed. Every major transformation begins with a mental shift. You cannot step into a new level with an old mindset. You cannot access abundance with scarcity thinking. You cannot embrace greatness while holding on to beliefs that keep you small. And here's a powerful hook: your life will always rise or fall to the level of your most dominant thoughts. Mindset is not just positive thinking, it is programmed thinking. It is intentionally choosing thoughts that align with who you want to become rather than who you've been. Your past cannot hold you unless your mind keeps carrying it. Your limitations cannot control you unless your mind keeps repeating them. The battle for elevation is not fought in the world around you. It is fought in the world within you. And most people lose that battle because they believe the voice of insecurity more than the voice of potential. They trust their excuses more than their abilities. They entertain thoughts of defeat longer than thoughts of possibility. But the moment you take authority over your thinking, your entire reality begins to shift. Your mindset determines how you interpret challenges. A weak mindset sees obstacles as signals to stop. A strong mindset sees obstacles as instructions to grow. A weak mindset looks at pressure as punishment. A strong mindset views pressure as preparation. A weak mindset waits for the perfect moment. A strong mindset creates the moment. The hook you must adopt is this: you don't experience life as it is, you experience life as you are. Two people can face the same situation and produce two completely different outcomes because their mindsets determine the meaning they assign to the moment. When you upgrade your mindset, you upgrade your capacity. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw problems. You begin to create solutions where you once felt stuck. You begin to move with confidence where you once hesitated in fear. Your thoughts start aligning with your goals, your actions start aligning with your vision, and your results start aligning with your potential. A transformed mindset attracts a transformed life. The world responds differently to a person who thinks differently, speaks differently, and carries themselves with mental authority. Even your success is limited or expanded by your thinking. You can only achieve at the level you believe. You can only rise at the level you perceive. You can only receive at the level you expect. Your mindset sets the thermostat for your life. And here's another powerful hook. If your mindset stays small, your life will eventually shrink to fit it. But when your mindset expands, your life will stretch to match it. Every time you break a mental limitation, you break a physical one. Every time you delete a belief that no longer serves you, you unlock a new dimension of possibility. Your mindset is your greatest asset or your greatest liability. It can elevate you or sabotage you. It can pull you forward or pull you backward. But the moment you take responsibility for shaping it, strengthening it, and aligning it with your calling, you become unstoppable. Because once your mind believes, your life has no choice but to follow. Consistency turns effort into excellence, and until you understand the true power of showing up every single day, you will continue wondering why your life doesn't match your potential. Consistency is not loud, it's not glamorous, it's not exciting, it's steady, it's intentional, and it's the quiet force behind every extraordinary result you admire in others. People look at someone winning and assume it came from one big breakthrough, but the truth is breakthroughs are built from hundreds of small decisions that nobody sees. The hook is simple. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you commit to consistently. Excellence is not an event. It's a habit. Most people treat consistency like a suggestion instead of a requirement. They work hard when they feel inspired, but stop when they feel tired. They show up strong when life is easy, but disappear when life gets uncomfortable. And that's why their results stay stuck, because inconsistency destroys progress. Every time you stop, you reset the process. Every time you hesitate, you lose momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. Once it builds, it multiplies your effort, magnifies your progress, and transforms disciplines into mastery. But momentum only grows when you stay consistent long enough for it to form. Consistency builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your mind learns to trust you. Every time you show up despite excuses, your spirit strengthens. Every time you push past resistance, your identity shifts. You stop becoming someone who wishes and start becoming someone who executes. And the most powerful identity you can carry is the identity of a finisher. A finisher is not the person who starts fast. It's the person who keeps moving step by step, even when the excitement fades and the journey feels long. Here's a hook to anchor in your spirit. Consistency is the language that excellence understands. You can't speak the language once a week and expect excellence to answer. Consistency also separates competition. Most people won't stay committed long enough to win. They get discouraged when results don't show up quickly. They get impatient when success takes time. They get distracted every time life throws noise their way. But the person who can stay consistent in a world full of quitters becomes unstoppable. Consistency is a competitive advantage because it is rare. It's the difference between the person who trees and the person who becomes undeniable. Trying is temporary. Consistency is transformational. The truth is, consistency isn't about intensity, it's about direction. It's about choosing the path of progress every single day, even when the progress feels small. A small improvement repeated consistently becomes a major transformation. A small habit practiced daily becomes a powerful lifestyle. The hook is this: tiny steps taken consistently will outwork giant leaps taken occasionally. 1 page a day turns into a book. 10 minutes of learning a day turns into expertise. Small disciplined actions compound into greatness. Consistency strengthens your character. It teaches patience, responsibility, focus, and resilience. It forces you to rise above your emotions and act based on commitment, not convenience. Anyone can work hard when they feel inspired. Only the disciplined work hard when inspiration is absent. And elevation belongs to the disciplined. When you become consistent, things begin to align. Opportunities start opening. Skills start sharpening. Strength starts building. Life starts shifting. Because consistency signals readiness. It tells the universe, I am prepared to receive what I've been asking for. Most importantly, consistency transforms how you see yourself. When you become consistent, you start to realize that greatness isn't some distant possibility. It's a daily practice. You begin seeing that excellence is not something reserved for a select few. It's the outcome of repeated effort. You learn that mastery doesn't come from talent. It comes from time invested with intention. And you discover that the life you want is not built in one moment. It's built in every moment you choose to show up. Consistency is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. It is the force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. It is the discipline that molds potential into performance, dreams into results, and effort into excellence. When you commit to consistency, you commit to transformation. And transformation always rewards those who refuse to stop showing up. Excuses destroy more dreams than failure ever will. And until you face this truth, you will continue sabotaging your own success without even realizing it. Excuses are comfortable. They make you feel justified. They protect your ego, and they create the illusion that you are still trying while doing nothing. But the hook you must hold on to is this: excuses are the silent killers of potential. They rob you of opportunities. They steal your momentum. And they keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity while the world moves forward. Every excuse you give yourself is a step away from the life you are capable of living. People often say they fail because the conditions weren't perfect, the timing wasn't right, or the resources weren't available. But here's the reality. Failure is temporary, but excuses are permanent if you let them rule your life. Excuses will convince you that you are powerless while ignoring the power that already resides within you. Excuses will whisper, you can't, while your potential screams, you must. The hook is simple: failure teaches, but excuses trap. One teaches you lessons that propel you forward. The other chains you to a past you're trying to escape. If you want elevation, you must stop negotiating with your excuses and start negotiating with your commitment. Excuses disguise themselves as reasons, but they are really lies you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. They keep you in your comfort zone, delaying your growth and diminishing your influence. Excuses make you rationalize why you didn't start, why you didn't finish, or why you didn't succeed. They distract you from the truth that every great achievement begins with a decision to act despite fear, uncertainty, and opposition. Here's a hook that will shift your thinking. Your excuses will never earn you a single result. Your actions will. Excuses cost you time, energy, and opportunity. Action produces outcomes. Excuses produce regret. The people who rise above their circumstances are not those who have perfect conditions or infinite resources. They are those who refuse to let excuses define their future. They show up even when tired, they push forward even when scared, and they take responsibility even when it's hard. Excuses are the easy way out. Discipline, persistence, and commitment are the hard ways that lead to greatness. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack accountability to themselves. The hook here is powerful. Excuses are temporary, but regret lasts a lifetime. Every time you let an excuse win, you pay in lost time, lost opportunities, and lost potential. Excuses also limit your vision. They convince you that you are smaller than you are, weaker than you are, and less capable than you are. They whisper doubts about your talent, your timing, and your luck. But the truth is, limitations are only real